guess I'm gonna move right over here. All right, folks, sorry for the delay. The previous game went into overtime. It was a championship game. So the Stillwater Ponies came right on the ice for warm-ups. I'm still getting the camera set up, so bear with me for a second. Stillwater Ponies are wearing red. We are facing Mahtomedi. They are in white jerseys. Round 5 of playoffs for Stillwater. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in warm-ups. And then this game will be underway. We're coming to you live from the Rec Center South Ring tonight. All right, the buzzer has sounded for them to warm up. They got the music cranked in here tonight. Not sure if you can hear that or not. tonight. We've got Logan for the Ponies. Center, Braden Smith. Left wing, Parker Taylor. Right wing, Ty Sirianni. Right D, Kai Koffenberg. Left D, Cash Junker. And we're off. Mahtomedi dumps it deep off the faceoff. Koffenberg retrieves it, sends it behind the net for Cash Junker. He sends it high off the glass and out of the zone. And we'll have an icing on Stillwater. And the music is still playing. I don't know if they realized. Not sure they could figure out how to turn the music off, but the music is finally turned off. Maybe that was just a little extra pump-up music for the kids. Shot on goal right off the face-off. Logan makes the save. Parker Taylor comes back to the point. Mahtomedi shot deflected into the far corner. Puck's behind the net. We've got Voxland sends it up the glass. Kep finally clears the zone, intended for Bonin. Bonin on the forecheck. Mahtomedi dumps it in. Voxland back to retrieve the puck. He takes it behind the net. Sends it up the boards, intended for Dox. Too much. Mahtomedi holds it in the zone. Dylan Johnson breaks up the play. Stillwater finally able to clear the puck. Mahtomedi brings it right back in. Voxland challenging. Shot wide of the net. Mahtomedi with a high backhand shot. Glove save, knocked down. Pushed into the far corner. Dox clears the puck. No icing. Bonin on the forecheck. Louis Junker now. Bonin still pressuring down low in the far corner. O'Shea pinches. Keegan Smith dumped it back in, but this offsides on Stillwater. Keegan Smith with the puck off the faceoff. He turns, sends it up the boards for Weston Linnell. Weston Linnell takes it into the zone, sends it behind the net. Louis Junker along the far boards. O'Shea pinches, dumps it back deep behind the net. Weston Linnell on the forecheck. Keegan Smith is able to hold it in. Keegan Smith holds it in again. Shot towards the net. Weston Linnell with a backhand shot. Didn't quite make it to the net, though. Mahtomedi is able to skate it out of the zone. O'Shea pressuring. We've got Braden Smith here skating the puck up through the neutral zone. Braden Smith takes it into the zone. Works his way around. Backhand shot. Rebounds loose. Goal! Braden Smith worked his way to the net, took a backhand shot, came off the pads. Louis Junker was able to knock that one in. Stillwater takes an early lead, 1-0. We even have the lights here, folks. They turned the lights off with the goal. So Louis Junker with the first goal of the game. 12:05 left to go in the first period. Sirianni right off the faceoff tried to take it into the zone. Comes back to Cash Junker. He sends it up the boards for Parker Taylor, just off his stick. Braden Smith now skating it into the zone again. He's working his way towards the net. Shot off the goalie behind the net. He's still pressuring. Braden Smith with the puck, tried to hand it off to Taylor, but got knocked off his stick. Braden Smith forechecking along the far boards. Braden Smith with the puck. Centering pass. Deflected off the goalie's stick behind the net. Taylor in the far corner. He sends it behind the net. Sirianni on the forecheck. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. Pass intercepted by Cash Junker. Handed off to Taylor. Taylor sends it behind the net. Sirianni and Kep on the forecheck. Comes back to Cash Junker. He took a turnaround shot that went behind the net. Koffenberg pinches. Sirianni on the forecheck. Mahtomedi rings it around the boards. Cash Junker is able to hold it in. He's skating towards the net, circles back, sends it around the boards. This will come back to Koffenberg at the point. His shot goes in. Koffenberg took a shot from the point, deflected off the Mahtomedi defenseman's stick and goes in the net. Stillwater 2-0. So that would be Cash Junker to Koffenberg on that goal. Again, Koffenberg shot from the point, deflected off the Mahtomedi's defenseman's stick midair and found its way to the back of the net. Stillwater leads 2-0, 10:18 left to go in the first period. We've got Dylan Johnson forechecking in the corner. Kep send it behind the net. Mahtomedi is able to clear. We got a race to the puck. Boxland challenging. Shot. Save. Logan. Rebound goal by Mahtomedi. Stillwater still leads 2-1. 10 minutes left to go in the first period. Off the face-off, we got Weston Linnell. He skates it into the zone, knocked off his stick. Louis Junker takes a shot, deflected wide. Weston Linnell, centering pass, deflected by Mahtomedi, sent around to the far boards. Dylan Johnson pinches. He's battling for the puck. Dylan Johnson with the puck. He's centering pass intended for Weston Linnell, just off his stick. He was in front of the crease. Mahtomedi is able to clear. Boxland with it here along the near boards. He tried to dump it in. Boxland gets the puck back. He skates it up a little bit into the zone. And Mahtomedi controls. They'll take it behind their own net. Sonic on the forecheck. Weston Linnell intercepts the breakout pass. He takes a shot. Mahtomedi intercepted that. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. Boxland with a poke check to disrupt the play, but Mahtomedi dumps it deep behind the net. Well, sorry about that, folks. Not sure what happened with the camera. We got Boxland here in the near corner. He passes up the boards for Linnell. He's able to clear the zone. Linnell trying to push the puck forward. Mahtomedi controls. They try to dump it in. Deflected. Sonic clears the zone off the boards. Intended for Linnell. Stillwater on a line change. O'Shea chips it forward, and we got Braden Smith. Mahtomedi clears Keegan Smith over to O'Shea at center ice. Stillwater dumps it in deep behind the net. Sirianni on the forecheck. Keegan Smith pinching. He takes a shot on goal. Save. The rebound came loose. Mahtomedi sends it around to the far boards. O'Shea pinches. Deflected off his stick. Parker Taylor tried to dump it deep. And Mahtomedi sent it off the boards, hit O'Shea, and went into the Mahtomedi bench. So we'll have a whistle and a face-off in the offensive zone for Stillwater. Stillwater leads 2-1, 7:59 left to go in the first period. Face-off comes back to O'Shea, slap shot, and glove save by the Mahtomedi goalie, and he'll hang on to that. Parker Taylor with a shot off the face-off, went wide of the net. Sirianni puts it behind the net. Taylor goes down. Braden Smith on the forecheck. Sirianni there as well. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. O'Shea at center ice passes it up the boards for Taylor. He dumps it into the zone. Mahtomedi rings it around the boards. Sirianni forechecking along the near boards. Braden Smith intercepts the breakout pass. He skates towards the net, takes a shot. Blocker save, deflected into the far corner. Cash Chunker sends it behind the net. Sirianni on the forecheck. Taylor helping out. Sent around the boards by Mahtomedi to Cash Chunker. He sends it back down deep. Taylor in the corner. Pucks comes back to Taylor, back to Cash Chunker, centering pass. Nobody quite there. Braden Smith with the puck now. He turns, takes a shot, save. Mahtomedi clears it to the near boards. And they're able to clear the zone. Bonin came off the bench and picked up the puck. He takes it behind the net. Passes it up to Cash Chunker. Not quite out yet. Docks now with the puck. He skates it through the neutral zone. And sends it deep behind the goal. Bonin on the forecheck on the near boards. Mahtomedi clears. They send it all the way down the ice, and this will be an icing on Mahtomedi. Stillwater leads 2-1. 6:17 left to go in the first period. Bonin right off the faceoff tries to go towards the net, gets tripped up. Docks and Bonin. Docks with a backhand chance right in front of the crease. Puck still loose on the side of the net. Kep battling for it. Kep sends it behind the net. Voxlin pinching. Voxlin and Bonin. Kep with the puck at the blue line. He takes a shot. Oh, the shot was stopped right by Docks in front of the net. Everybody was on the right side of the net. If Docks could have got that puck on his stick, he would have had an easy goal, but he got tied up by a Mahtomedi defenseman. And Mahtomedi, I think, shot the puck into the Mahtomedi bench again. So we'll have a whistle and another face-off here in the neutral zone. Good chance there by Stillwater. Kep took the shot from the point. Sonic with the puck. He's driving towards the net. Passes it to Linnell. Linnell shot. Goal! Sonic to Linnell for a goal. Stillwater 3-1. Linnell, I think, went 5-hole on that shot. Stillwater regains their 2-goal lead. Score is 3-1. 5:24 left to go in the first period. Mahtomedi comes into the zone. Shot on net. Save Logan, and he'll cover that one. Sonic wins the faceoff. Back to O'Shea. O'Shea sends it behind the net. Voxlin in the near corner. He sends it up to Linnell. Linnell not able to clear. Sonic flips it out of the zone. O'Shea clears it out of the zone over to Louis Junker, but he couldn't quite handle that one. Sonic and O'Shea battling for the puck along the far boards, kind of tied up with two Mahtomedi players as well. O'Shea chips it over the Mahtomedi player, but they send it back in. Keegan Smith with the puck. Sends it off the boards, intended for Wesson Linnell. Too far for him, though. Mahtomedi brings it back into the zone. Mahtomedi centering pass. Went off O'Shea's stick. O'Shea with the puck along the near boards. He chips it up the boards and out. Braden Smith on the forecheck here. Mahtomedi takes it behind their net. Mahtomedi is... Parker Taylor is able to disrupt that play a little bit. Cash Junker with the puck at the Stillwater blue line. He skates it up through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. He takes a shot. Ricocheted off the Mahtomedi defenseman behind the net. Taylor on the forecheck. Sirianni with a shot from the short side. Puck's loose behind the net. Taylor flips it back into the near corner. Sirianni's over there battling for the puck. Mahtomedi chips it up. Mahtomedi flipped the puck up. They had a man at the blue line. He had a breakaway and goal for Mahtomedi. So Stillwater still leads 3-2. 3:30 left to go in the first period. Kemp wins the faceoff back to Cash Junker. Cash Junker off the boards for Docs. Docs tried to send it deep. Mahtomedi sends it the length of the ice for an icing. Kept battling for the puck along the far boards. Cash Junker sent it behind the net. Bonin forechecking along the far boards. Docs now behind the net. Bonin challenging along the far boards now. Docs with the puck. He's working his way towards the net. Shot wide of the net. Comes back to the point. Koffenberg sends it behind the net again. Docs on the forecheck. Bonin comes up with the puck. Wraparound shot and a goal. Bonin with a wraparound goal. Stillwater 4-2. Docs to Bonin. Stillwater leads 4-2. 2:47 left to go in the first period. Mahtomedi controls off the faceoff. They send it to the near boards and dumps it in. Dylan Johnson back to retrieve the puck. He rings it around the boards and out of the zone. This will be an icing on Stillwater. Quick shot right off the faceoff, went off the glove of Logan into the corner. Louis Junker controls the puck. He's able to clear. He skates it through the neutral zone, makes a move around one defenseman, takes a shot, save, and covered by the Mahtomedi goalie. .2:14 left to go in the first period. Stillwater leads 4-2. Dylan Johnson holds off the faceoff, shot from the point, stick save, deflected into the far corner. Comes back to Dylan Johnson at the point. He dumps it to the near boards. Voxlin pinching. He sends it towards that save. Rebound was loose on the goal line there for a minute until goalie hit it away. Shot by Louis Junker, deflected behind the net. Sonic on the forecheck now. Dylan Johnson pinches. He holds it in. Sonic in the corner, centering pass. Goalie deflected it behind the net. Louis Junker controls his centering pass off the glove. Weston Linnell with a chance. Deflected wide of the net. Linnell behind the net. Louis Junker's centering pass. Nobody there. Mahtomedi is able to break it out. Poke check by Dylan Johnson. Intercepts it. Pass intended for Weston Linnell off his stick, though. Mahtomedi able to clear their zone. Dylan Johnson over to Voxlin now. Voxlin skates it through the neutral zone. He skates it into the offensive zone. Takes a shot wide of the net. Taylor sends it back behind the net. Braden Smith on the forecheck, centering pass, deflected by Mahtomedi. Backhand shot by Taylor. Thought that almost went 5-hole, but we had a stick save. Mahtomedi with a long flip pass. Nobody there. And this could be an icing. Yes. Icing on Mahtomedi. 35 seconds left to go in the period. Stillwater leads 4-2. Mahtomedi is looking for those breakaway goals. They're floating it forward behind our defenseman, trying to flip it out of the zone to get those breakaway chances. Comes back to the point. O'Shea with a slap shot. Held on to by the Mahtomedi goalie and covered. 29 seconds left. Braden Smith went over the goalie there after the whistle. Puck goes into the corner. Mahtomedi controls Taylor with the puck. He sends it back to O'Shea. O'Shea shot deflected by a Mahtomedi player. They are able to clear the zone. 15 seconds left to go in the period. Keegan Smith back to retrieve the puck. He sends it off the near boards. Intended for Sirianni. Missed his stick. Keegan Smith with the puck over to Sirianni. Sirianni. And that is the end of the first period. Stillwater leads 4-2. Shots on goal, 17 for Stillwater, 6 for Mahtomedi. All right, starting the second period, we've got Logan back in goal. Kai Koffenberg at right D. Cash Chunker left D. Brendan Docks left wing. Jacob Kep center. And Gus Bonin right wing. Koffenberg tried to chip it up to Bonin off the faceoff, but Mahtomedi is able to dump it deep. Cash Chunker back to retrieve the puck behind the Stillwater net. He skates it up a little bit. Picked off shot. Goal by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi scores a quick goal here in the second period. Stillwater still leads 4-3. All right, Kai Koffenberg with the puck. He skates it into the offensive zone, takes a shot, stick save, deflected into the near corner. Kep, Cash, and Docks over there along the near boards. Mahtomedi sends it to the far boards. Koffenberg pinches. Mahtomedi player sliding into the boards. Koffenberg battling for the puck against two Mahtomedi players there. Bonin helping out. Bonin trying to control the puck. He spins. Trying to work his way towards the centering pass intended for Docks. He was right there, but his stick was tied up. Docks with the puck. He's battling for it along the near boards. Mahtomedi is able to send it deep into the Stillwater zone. Koffenberg back to retrieve the puck. Over to Cash Chunker. Cash Chunker up to Docks in the neutral zone. Center ice. Docks sends it deep behind the Mahtomedi goal. And we'll go for a line change. Bonin on the forecheck. Sonic helping out. Cash intercepts the breakout pass. He takes a shot in traffic. Right on the stick of Louis Junker, but he couldn't turn to get a shot off. Back behind the net, Bonin on the forecheck. He loses control of the puck. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. Breakaway chance shot. Saved by Logan. Mahtomedi with a rebound shot. Save. Another shot. Save. Puck is still loose on the side of the net. Puck is still loose. Weston Linnell finally comes away with it. Louis Junker now skates it out of the zone. Through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. He takes it wide. Working his way towards the net. Backhand shot just wide of the net. Centering pass tipped by Louis Junker, and then he goes down, unfortunately. Mahtomedi controls. Skates it into the zone. Foxland trying to challenge there. Weston Linnell ends up with the puck. He's skating through neutral zone now. Battling against two Mahtomedi players. He turned and made a centering pass, but no Stillwater player there. They're on a line change. Mahtomedi brings it right back. They drop. Shot deflected wide of the net. Mahtomedi controls behind the Stillwater goal. Taylor back to retrieve the puck. He's flips it off the boards. Held in by Mahtomedi, but it's out now finally. Mahtomedi is able to dump it back in. Dylan Johnson to retrieve the puck. Dylan Johnson skates it out of the zone. He dumps it deep after he crosses the red line. Taylor on the forecheck. Mahtomedi comes right back. Mahtomedi 2-on-0, centering pass, save. Braden Smith with the back check to help out there. Mahtomedi slap shot from the point, deflected off of Mahtomedi skate to the far corner. Keegan Smith battling for the puck along the far boards. Parker Taylor helping out as well. Braden Smith trying to get it out of the zone. Keegan Smith in the far corner. He sends it off the boards, not out. Shot from the point, wide of the net, into the near corner. Sirianni down low trying to control the puck. Braden Smith and Dylan Johnson over there as well. Dylan Johnson sends it around the boards for Taylor. He can't quite get to it though. Back to the point, shot into Braden Smith. He's finally able to clear the zone. He's got a little bit of room, but he's battling three Mahtomedi players. Taylor sends it towards the net wide. Sirianni on the forecheck. He sends it down low. Mahtomedi controls behind their net. They are able to break out, clear the zone. O'Shea back to retrieve the puck. Docks battling along the far boards. O'Shea again chips it out. Mahtomedi sends it back in, but that will be an offsides on Mahtomedi. Stillwater leads 4-3, 10:15 left to go in the second period. Mahtomedi tried to dump it deep, but Keegan Smith intercepted that. Now we have O'Shea with the puck. He passes it up to Docks. Knocked off his stick. Bonin with a chance here. Oh. Mahtomedi comes back. They dump it in from the red line. Slap shot from short angle. Rebound comes way out. Bonin battling along the far boards for the puck. Kep sends it around. Intended for Docks. The fans are getting into it here. Docks. O'Shea with the puck. He tried to make a move around one. He's still battling. Tried to make a centering pass. Couldn't quite get it through. Kep at the point. Mahtomedi is able to clear. Koffenberg sends it right back up the boards. Kep tried to dump it deep. Couldn't quite get it there. And this should be an icing on Mahtomedi. Yes, icing on Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi is able to clear right off the face-off. Koffenberg sends it back in. Sonic's got to wait for Louis Junker to clear the zone. Cash Junker. Louis Junker with the puck now. He's skating towards the net. Has it taken off his stick. Sorry, folks, trying to keep the camera up with the action here. Mahtomedi tried to have another one of those breakaway passes. Cash Junker was able to break it up. Weston Linnell with the puck now. He passes over to Sonic. Sonic, just off his stick. Louis Junker almost had a chance there, too. Cash Junker pinches. Not able to hold, though. Mahtomedi comes right back in. 2-on-1. Pass over. Shot. Goal. 2-on-1 chance by Mahtomedi. Passed it over to the wing on the left side. Shot, top shelf, top right corner, goes in. Mahtomedi ties it up 4-4 here in the second period. 8:14 left to go in the second. Sirianni controls off the face-off, tried to pass it over to Parker Taylor, just off his stick. Taylor on the forecheck. Mahtomedi trying to clear. Braden Smith couldn't quite hold that in. Mahtomedi comes right back. They send it behind the net. Sirianni to retrieve the puck in the far corner. Sirianni tried to pass it up to Braden Smith. Finally able to clear the zone. Mahtomedi dumps it back in. Icing's waved off. Dylan Johnson to retrieve the puck. He sends it up the boards for Taylor. Taylor across ice for Sirianni. Sirianni skates it into the zone. He takes a shot wide of the net. Taylor behind the net. Controls. Tried to center it. Sirianni chips it behind the net. Parker Taylor back on the forecheck. He sends it to the far corner again. Sirianni working. Braden Smith has the puck now. Has it knocked off his stick. Taylor picks it off. Shot. Goal! Parker Taylor was able to pick up that puck. Took a shot just inside the right post. Stillwater takes the lead. 5-4. 6:58 left to go in the period. That goal would be Braden Smith over to Parker Taylor. Cash Junker took this face off. O'Shea with the puck. He chips it up the boards for Dox. Dox tries to dump it deep. Mahtomedi defenseman controls. They're able to clear the zone. Keegan Smith back to retrieve the puck. He takes it behind the net. Keegan Smith has a little room. He sends it across ice for Dox. Dox now along the near boards. He skates it up. He tried to pass it over to Cash. Bonin along the far boards. Mahtomedi dumps it in. O'Shea sends it around for Dox. Mahtomedi intercepts. They send it wide of the net. Keegan Smith back to retrieve the puck. He clears the puck intended for Cash Junker, but it was deflected a couple times at center ice. Keegan Smith was able to clear, and Mahtomedi brought it back in for an offsides. 5:50 left to go in the second period. Stillwater leads 5-0. 5-4. All right, Stillwater controls off the face-off. Mahtomedi intercepts it in the neutral zone. They skate it into the zone. Nice. Oh, glove save by Rye. We had a goalie change for Stillwater there. Sorry, I didn't see that right away. So Rye just got into net and made a glove save right off the bat. Face-off goes into the far corner. Centering pass intercepted by Louis Junker. Louis Junker is able to skate it out of the zone. He loses it in the neutral zone. Mahtomedi brings it right back. They dump it in. Stick save by Rye. He deflects it into the near corner. Kep with the puck. He's trying to skate it through the neutral zone. Kep shot high and wide of the net. Koffenberg pinches. Not able to hold it in though. Sonic with a back check. He's able to break up the play there. Apologies, folks. I'm not sure why the camera's not tracking the puck as well tonight, but we'll do our best to improve that. Mahtomedi holds it in. Sonic with the puck. Koffenberg trying to send it up the boards. Intercepted by Mahtomedi. Centering pass. Pad save by Rye. Not out. Mahtomedi shot from the point. Stopped by Kep. Kep battling for the puck. Kep passes it up to Louis Junker. Not out though. Sonic. He turns and sends it up the boards for Louis Junker again. Louis Junker not quite able to clear. Mahtomedi still holds. Kep trying to clear the puck. Linnell finally along the far boards. He's able to flip it out of the zone, and Stillwater gets a needed line change here. Mahtomedi comes right back. And they're offsides. Stillwater definitely needed a line change there. We had all 5 players change once we cleared the zone. Braden Smith with the puck off the face-off. He turns, passes it along the far boards, intended for Sirianni, just off his stick. Mahtomedi able to clear the zone. Boxland battling for the puck along the far boards. Braden Smith intercepts. He skates it through the neutral zone. Has it knocked off his stick. Taylor, shot. Glove saved by the Mahtomedi goalie, and he'll hang on to that one. Stillwater leads 5-4. 3:25 left to go in the second period. Mahtomedi is able to clear right off the face-off. Boxland racing for the puck. Mahtomedi is able to chip it into the zone. They control. Centering pass, nobody there. Braden Smith sent it into the far corner. Braden Smith with the puck still. He's trying to skate it out. Has it knocked off his stick. Shot wide of the net. Mahtomedi, another shot. Went off the side of the net. Braden Smith in the far corner. Dylan Johnson to Braden Smith. Braden Smith's finally able to skate it out of the zone. Has it knocked off his stick at center ice. Mahtomedi comes back. Sirianni along the far boards. He's able to clear the puck. Mahtomedi flips it up. Dylan Johnson steals the puck. He gets tripped up. Centering pass. Intercepted by Voxland. Mahtomedi controls now though. Centering pass. Parker Taylor along the near boards has a little room. He skates it out of the zone, tries to work his way around the defenseman, but has the puck stolen. Mahtomedi player ran into his own teammate trying to enter the zone. Sent around the boards by Dylan Johnson. Braden Smith on the forecheck. Docks almost intercepted the breakout pass. Docks with the puck. He's got room. Shot. Puck's loose in front of the crease. Mahtomedi controls. They send it the length of the ice, and this should be an icing call. No, icing is waved off. I'm not sure why, but Keegan Smith retrieved that puck, sent up the boards for Bonin. And I guess this will be an icing on Stillwater. I'm not sure why that icing by Mahtomedi was waved off, but anyway, we've got icing here on Stillwater. Keegan Smith in the near corner tried to send it up the boards off a Mahtomedi player. Mahtomedi controls. Pass intercepted by Cash Junker and flipped out of the zone, but that's played with a high stick by Gus Bonin, so we'll have another face-off here in the Stillwater zone. 1:12 left to go in the second period here. Stillwater leads 5-4. Mahtomedi controls off the face-off. Shot deflected by Dox. Cash Junker skates it out of the zone. He dumps it deep. Bonin, Cash, and Dox all on the forecheck. Cash Junker sends it back to O'Shea. Slap shot batted down by Cash Junker, and we got a high sticking. .52 seconds left to go in the second period. We've got O'Shea and Cash Junker battling for the puck along the near boards here. Doc's now challenging the point. Doc's able to come away with it. He makes a move around one defenseman. He gets the puck knocked off his stick. Mahtomedi is able to clear. 30 seconds left to go in the period. Bonin back to retrieve the puck. He'll skate it behind the net. He sends it up. Mahtomedi takes a shot. I think that went off of Cash Junker's stick, deflected wide. We've got Cash Junker and Louis Junker here now with the puck. Louis Junker skates it into the zone. 10 seconds left. He takes it wide. He takes it behind the net. 3 seconds left. Back to Koffenberg. Shot deflected into the near corner, and that's the end of the second period. Stillwater leads 5-4. And we will have a 10-minute intermission here to resurface the ice. And I will say the play has definitely picked up intensity here at the Rec Center South Rink. We've got Stillwater versus Mahtomedi. Stillwater leads 5-4. Shots on goal, 20 for Stillwater, 14 for Mahtomedi. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes. Folks, the Zamboni's off the ice. The refs are getting the nets set. Here come your Stillwater Ponies back on the ice. I should mention that the Stillwater fans are all wearing red here. We've got a red out, and Stillwater's wearing the red jerseys. The boys also had a special surprise before the game as well. They got picked up in a limo bus and got to cruise around the town for about 15 minutes before the game as well. Then they got dropped off at the rink with all their gear. All right, folks, we've got 15 minutes of hockey left here tonight. Stillwater leads 5-4 against Mahtomedi. All right, we have got Rye back in goal to start the third period. Kai Koffenberg, right D. Jacob Kep, left D. Weston Linnell, right wing. Arlo Sonic, center. Louis Junker, left wing. Kep sends it up the ice. Mahtomedi intercepts in the neutral zone. Kep again tried to pass it forward to Weston Linnell, but that got intercepted. Koffenberg battling for the puck along the near boards. He flips it up, not quite out. Mahtomedi holds off of Linnell's skate. Finally clears the zone. Linnell controls, skates it into the zone. Backhand shot, wide of the net. Sonic in the near corner, battling for the puck. Mahtomedi sends it around to the far boards. Weston Linnell challenges over there, leaves it for Kep. He tried to take a shot. Mahtomedi clears. Koffenberg controls the puck. He skates it into the zone and takes a shot wide of the net. Louis Junker along the far boards. Louis Junker controls, takes it behind the net. Centering pass, nobody there. Mahtomedi intercepts, they clear the puck. And they dump it deep into the far corner. Johnson back to retrieve the puck. He is able to clear the zone. Mahtomedi controls in the neutral zone. They send it back in deep. Voxlin with the puck along the near boards. He chips it out of the zone. Mahtomedi sends it on net. Save. Rye leaves it for Dylan Johnson. He's able to clear the zone up to Parker Taylor at the red line. Parker Taylor skates it into the zone, into the far corner. Centering pass intended for Braden Smith. Went through the crease. Voxlin shot. Save and held on to by the Mahtomedi goalie. Face-off comes to the near board. Sirianni, quick shot on net. Rebounds loose. Comes back to the point. Voxlin holds. He sends it around the boards. Braden Smith with the puck. He turns. Shot deflected wide of the net. Sirianni centering pass off the side of the net. Braden Smith had it lined up. Puck just rolled off his stick. Dylan Johnson with a nice poke check, but we've got offsides on Stillwater. Dox controls off the faceoff. He skates it into the zone. He tried to make a centering pass, intercepted by Mahtomedi. Dox again, backhand shot, went through the crease. Keegan Smith tried to pinch. Dox able to hold it in. Bonin with the puck now. He's taking it deep, backhand centering pass, intercepted by Mahtomedi behind the net. Cash Junker tried to pass it out front. Cash Junker along the far boards. He sends it back to O'Shea. O'Shea shot from the point, deflected. Bonin in the near corner. He passes it back to Keegan Smith at the point. Shot deflected by Cash Junker. Bonin to Cash Junker, goal! Bonin to Cash Junker for a goal. Stillwater makes it 6-4. Cash Junker able to put that one on the right side of the net, about mid-height there. Stillwater 6, Mahtomedi 4, 12:07 left to go in the third period. Faceoff comes back to O'Shea, chips it forward for Louis Junker, back to Weston Linnell. Weston Linnell driving towards the net, has it taken off his stick. Sonic has the puck. He has it knocked off his stick in the offensive zone. Mahtomedi comes back. Keegan Smith with a poke check. Knocks it off the Mahtomedi player's stick, but they're able to dump it deep. O'Shea tried to flip it out of the zone, hit the ref. Louis Junker finally able to clear the zone, and he gets taken down. O'Shea chipped it forward. Mahtomedi cross ice. Weston Linnell on the forecheck. Mahtomedi dumps it deep on net. Rye, stick save, deflects it into the far corner. Koffenberg sends it around the boards for Linnell. Linnell not able to chip it out of the zone. Mahtomedi holds, deflected. Shot on goal, deflected by Koffenberg, but Rye makes the save and covers that one. We'll have a face-off in the defensive zone. Braden Smith wins the face-off back. He retrieves it himself in the corner, takes it behind the net. Braden Smith has it stolen off him. Shot, Mahtomedi wide of the net. Puck's loose behind the net. Mahtomedi controls behind the net. Puck is on top of the net. Kemp is able to retrieve that puck. He is trying to skate it out of the zone. Has it knocked off his stick. Braden Smith picks it up, though, and continues moving it forward. Braden Smith trying to get it deep in the offensive zone, but loses control. Mahtomedi skates it out. Koffenberg with a nice poke check to disrupt that play. Braden Smith brings it back into the zone. He collides with the Mahtomedi player. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. We've got a 2-on-1 here for Mahtomedi. Koffenberg able to disrupt the cross-ice pass, and he sends it around the boards. Braden Smith is able to pick it off from the point. He brings it into the zone. Passes over to Taylor. Taylor, shot, save. Mahtomedi controls and clears the zone. Dylan Johnson with the puck at center ice. He skates it in. And we've got an offsides on Stillwater because Braden Smith was down on the ice here on the near boards. I couldn't even see him myself. He was down right along the boards. I think he was trying to get out of the zone there before Dylan Johnson brought it back in. Cash Junker wins the faceoff back to Voxland. Voxland dumps it deep around the boards. Dox on the forecheck in the far corner. Cash Junker working. Bonin now helping out. Mahtomedi is able to clear the zone. They chip it forward. Breakaway chance here. Shot wide of the net. Puck goes behind the net. Cash Junker to retrieve it. He sends it off the glass. Intended for Dox. Mahtomedi holds. They send it back on net. Stick save by Rye. Deflected into the near corner. Voxland sends it up the boards for Bonin and out of the zone. Mahtomedi tried to go D to D there, but the defenseman fanned on the pass. Unfortunately, we had an offsides on Stillwater. O'Shea dumps it into the zone off the faceoff. Bonin with the puck. He turns back to Keegan Smith. Shot deflected by a Mahtomedi player, and they are able to break it out. Cash Junker on the back check. Shot, glove saved by Rye, and he'll hang on to that one. Stillwater leads 6-4, 8:50 left to go in the third period. Sonic controls the face-off. He sends it around the boards. Intended for Louis Junker. He's able to chip it out of the zone. Louis Junker loses. Has it knocked off his stick, and we've got an offsides on Stillwater. Mahtomedi controls off the face-off. Sonic pressuring in the neutral zone. Mahtomedi brings it into the zone. Shot deflected. O'Shea sent it to the far boards. Louis Junker with the puck. He's able to clear. His pass hits the skate of the Mahtomedi player. And we've got Louis Junker along the far boards with the puck momentarily. Lost control. Weston Linnell. Stillwater clears it. Mahtomedi is able to bring it back in, though. Puck changing control quite a bit there within the first couple of feet of the blue line. O'Shea sends it around the boards for Louis Junker. Not out, though. Mahtomedi sends it back deep. O'Shea with the puck. He sends it high off the glass and out. This will be an icing on Stillwater. And there's the whistle. .740 left to go in the third period. Stillwater leads 6-4. Cash Junker wins a faceoff over to Kep. Kep knocked it up the boards for Dox. Not out yet, though. Finally cleared. Mahtomedi tried to send it in, deflected off a stick. Cash Junker with the puck. He turns at the blue line. Has it knocked off his stick. Dox trying to disrupt the play. Mahtomedi along the near boards. Koffenberg pressuring. He steals the puck, takes it behind the net. Koffenberg off the boards for Dox. He's able to knock it out of the zone. Dox on the forecheck. Couldn't quite handle that puck at the blue line, though. Puck comes back to Koffenberg. Koffenberg flipped up. Intended for Bonin, too much for him to handle, though. Mahtomedi tried to clear, hit Bonin. Cash Junker trying to hold it in, but Mahtomedi does clear, and they bring it back. We've got Mahtomedi shot on goal, glove saved by Rye. And he'll hang on to that one. Face-off goes behind the net for Stillwater. Dylan Johnson trying to send it up the boards. Has it knocked off his stick. Back to the Mahtomedi point. Shot from the point was stopped by Cash Junker, and he skates it out of the zone. He skates it into the offensive zone, taking it right. Shot off the side of the net. Rebound's loose. Parker Taylor sends it back to Voxlin at the point. Shot deflected off a Mahtomedi stick, up in the air, gloved down by a Mahtomedi player, and cleared. Dylan Johnson with the puck. We've got a race for the puck here. Dylan Johnson saved by Rye. Ref waves no goal. I think we've got a hooking penalty on Dylan Johnson. But we had Dylan Johnson, a Mahtomedi player, slide into Rye and into the back of the net, knocking the nets off. Stillwater is going to be on the penalty kill for 1:30 here in the third period. 6:02 left to go in the third. Stillwater leads 6-4. Braden Smith taking the face-off. Braden Smith wins the face-off over to Voxland. He passes it up to Linnell. Linnell's able to clear the zone. He dumps it deep. Linnell dumps it deep behind the Mahtomedi goal and continues on the forecheck. Braden Smith intercepts the breakout pass. Mahtomedi finally able to clear the zone, though. Voxland pressuring along the near boards. Centering pass by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi player was all alone, but not off. Shot and a glove save by Rye. Rye was able to make two big saves there. 58 seconds left to go on the penalty kill for Stillwater. Stillwater player adjusting his equipment here before the face-off. Sonic to take the face-off. Went back to the Mahtomedi point, shot, and a goal. Mahtomedi with a shot right off the face-off, trickles into the back of the net for a power play goal. Stillwater still leads 6-5. 5:24 left to go in the third period here. Face off back to O'Shea. He sends it in on net. Linnell on the forecheck. Linnell tried to send it back to O'Shea at the point, but that was intercepted by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi flips it across ice. Voxland along the near boards. He tries to send it deep, intercepted by a Mahtomedi player. O'Shea is able to knock the puck to the far boards. Little equipment malfunction there. O'Shea sends it off the boards, not out. Sonic finally able to clear the zone. Mahtomedi brings it right back in. Shot into the far corner. Louis Junker controls the puck, not out. Another shot. Well, that was sent into the near corner. Linnell tries to flip it up and out of the zone. Cash Junker racing for the puck. Slap shot, pad save. Comes right back to Cash Junker. Backhand shot, hits traffic in front. Comes to Kyle Koffenberg. Shot, hits the goalie in the forehead. Puck still loose in the front of the crease. Finally goes to the far corner. Louis Junker sends it back to Kep. Kep tried to dump it deep into the corner. Kep shot. Stopped by the Mahtomedi defenseman. Mahtomedi clears. Koffenberg sends it back in. We'll have offsides on Stillwater. Face off at center ice. 3:51 left to go in the third period. Stillwater leads 6-1. Cash Junker takes the face off. Mahtomedi controls though. Mahtomedi shot deflected off of Koffenberg's shin pads. Koffenberg controls the puck. He takes it behind the net. Rings it around the boards for Dox. Dox chips it out of the zone. Mahtomedi controls. Cash Junker intercepted that one. Dox battling for it. He's trying to work his way towards the offensive zone. Mahtomedi dumps it deep. Kept back to retrieve the puck. Kept looking to skate it out of the zone. He gets tied up. Puck goes over to Dox. He loses control. Bonin now with the puck. He gets tangled up and taken down. We have a delayed penalty. We've got a tripping penalty on Mahtomedi. Bonin trying to work his way to the net was taken down, which drew the penalty for Mahtomedi. Stillwater will be on the power play for 1:30. Mahtomedi controls off the face-off. They're able to skate it out of the zone. Voxland pressuring. Mahtomedi dumps it in. Dylan Johnson back to retrieve the puck. He skates it up, passes over to Sirianni. Sirianni chips it out of the zone into the offensive zone. Braden Smith steals the puck along the near boards. He takes a shot, deflected wide. Taylor sends it back behind the net for Braden Smith. Braden Smith turned around, centering pass, went off a Mahtomedi player's skate. Braden Smith battling for the puck, centering pass goes through the crease. Dylan Johnson with it. He takes a shot. Save. Puck's loose in front. Taylor's battling for it. We've got a whistle. The puck came loose, but the ref blew the whistle. 2:17 left to go in the third period. 43 seconds left to go on the power play for Stillwater. Sonic battling for the puck along the near boards. Comes back to Keegan Smith. Slap shot. Off the goalie's glove. Sonic with the shot. Save. Puck still loose on the side of the net. Linnell brings it around. Trying to get it back to the point. Intercepted by Mahtomedi. They skated out of the zone. O'Shea not able to hold it in. Louis Junker with a back check. He's able to disrupt the play. O'Shea with the puck. O'Shea skates it out of the zone. O'Shea takes a long shot off the helmet and covered by the Mahtomedi goalie. Sonic takes the face-off back to Louis Junker. Sonic shot deflected by the Mahtomedi goalie. Louis Junker battling for the puck, comes loose. Mahtomedi brings it into the zone. Penalty is over for Mahtomedi. Full strength, minute 20 left to go. Linnell along the near boards, passes it up to Cash Junker. Cash Junker battling for the puck. Sent around the boards, Bonin. He sends it back around to the near boards. Koffenberg pinches, minute left to go in the period. Cash Junker, centering pass. Bonin turns, he gets taken down. Mahtomedi controls, they send it around the far boards. Kep pinches, puck's loose. Doc's trying to get it deep. One-on-one here, Koffenberg and a Mahtomedi player. Stillwater is able to recover. Kemp with the puck, he flips it up off the glass. Bonin trying to chip it forward, 33 seconds left. Mahtomedi controls. Open net, empty net for Mahtomedi. Kemp sends it the length of the ice. Deflected, no icing here. Docks, centering pass, deflected, 19 seconds left. Mahtomedi breaks it out, shot into Voxlin. Voxlin trying to clear. Cash Junker trying to clear the puck. 5 seconds left. Docks. Dylan Johnson over along the far boards, pinning it up. And we got 1 second left, and that's it. Stillwater wins 6-5 against Mahtomedi. Stillwater will advance to the next round tomorrow morning at 11:15. Good game, folks. That was a battle to the very end. Stillwater comes away with the victory, 6-5. Great job, Ponies. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 11:15 a.m. at the North Center, at the Rec Center North Rink. Great job, ponies. That's it for tonight, folks. Thank you for watching.